मदन जी नमस्ते।
नमस्कार नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप?
अच्छी हूँ, आप कैसे हैं?
बस अच्छा है, अच्छा दिन निकल आया है तो अच्छा ही है।
Right.
Everything is good.
Yeah, that's good to hear. For a change, the temperature is much
Cooler.
more manageable than last week,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
So,
हमारे यहाँ तो अभी तक बहुत fog है।
right, right. So would you like to turn your video camera on?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. What I would like to do, Madanji, is this video is being recorded for the class. So I'm going to ask you the questions one by one. Please take 4 or 5 minutes to answer each one of them. And, you know, your opinions, your feedback, your experience matters a lot to the class because they're going to learn from, you know, Karma Yogis like you. So we hope that, you know, this session is going to help them. So whenever you are ready, we can get started.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is a video is okay right now?
Yeah, video is okay. Yeah.
No.
Your voice is coming quite clearly. So it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll bring a little closer, right? Okay, let me see if I can manage this voice. Okay. Is it better?
Yeah, take your time. Oh.
Okay, this is the maximum voice.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, voice is coming out quite clearly. Okay. The light, I think is all right. I can see you, but yeah, that's better. That's actually better. Yeah. So we can get started. I'm going to start with an introduction about you and then start asking questions.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to Lifetimes in Karma Yoga session of the Counselor of Hindu Tradition course. Today, we have an opportunity to learn from one of the Karma Yoga honorees of HCI, Sri Madanji Arora. For over 25 years, Madanji has served as a 24/7 resource for anyone in the SF Bay Area community seeking help with last rites, guidance, and support, as well as Hindu samskaras. And we are very fortunate to have him helping us create a following of volunteers, including the Counselor of Hindu Tradition Network, the CHT Sangha, who are able to emulate his model of service. Madanji's tradition can now continue to serve the diaspora all around the world in an institutionalized manner. Madanji, welcome.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Yeah, so we are hoping that in this session, people can learn all about what it takes to practice and live and breathe the Karma Yoga from people like you, because obviously you have been at this for a very long time. And I think the class can learn everything about what it means to serve people, how do you get started, and so on. So my first question to you would be, you obviously have picked an area which is all about Hindu samskaras. And this is a service that is extremely valuable to the people in the Bay Area. You know, for those of us that have lived here for a long time and raising children, we know the value of passing on our Hindu traditions and samskaras and so on. So speaking for yourself, what shaped you into who you are today in terms of keeping up with the traditions and the samskaras? So if you
Yes.
can tell us a little bit about that, that would be very helpful.
Well, there's, see, all the samskaras come from parents and their siblings, my brothers, sisters,
Mhm,
as well as my dadi.
mhm,
She, grandmother and my parents, we migrated from Pakistan after
mhm,
India's partition.
mhm,
I have personally seen 4.5 trains butchered in front of my eyes. And then we lived in a refugee camp for a long time, and I saw all the issues going on because where
mhm.
all these bodies which I saw butchered never got the last sanskaras for our Hindu rituals.
Oh.
And then growing up, my grandmother used to tell me, she says, do something for others,
Mhm,
not just for yourself. And I was in this, I think, sixth grade, and I was living in Delhi in a hut with
mhm,
my 4 other friends of sixth graders,
mhm,
not at home because we had a small room and many kids. And we all 4 decided that we build our hut.
mhm.
There, I saw that all these, at the school which I was going, 90% were refugees from Pakistan.
Oh, I see.
And then the other was the people living in these huts. These kids were not interested much about education because their living was selling things for the family.
Mhm,
I asked my grandmother, I said, what can I do? And she
mhm,
said, teach the mothers. So
mhm,
we all 4 started giving classes in the evening to the mothers to come uh, to learn and read and write Hindi. It
mhm,
was a tough, but we succeeded in 1 year. And
mhm,
some of those kids, I have met them after when I visited India one time, and they were all in very good education and
mhm.
very well placed all over. So I was very proud. And I used to tell my grandmother while she was alive that you put me into something which is great. Then we came to this country 54 some years ago, and we saw a vacuum in this country,
Mhm,
especially
mhm,
Bay Area. There was
mhm.
no place we could take our kids for Sanatan Dharam Sanskars.
Yes.
There was
Mhm,
no place. There was no temple.
mhm,
So we met a very nice gentleman who was uh, he was neurosurgeon uh, at Stanford.
mhm,
He had started a yoga society in San Francisco. It still exists, Yoga Society of San Francisco.
mhm,
And we used to go to him because every Sunday he will chant and my kids will see Havans and all that when they were growing up.
mhm,
He put me into a new perspective of life in a
mhm,
foreign country.
mhm,
And there I met Prabhupada Prabhupada, who
mhm,
started ISKCON.
mhm,
And all these people gave us a new path
mhm,
in this country. And we started very first Hindu temple in that Yoga Society of San Francisco. 5 of us went to India. We brought
mhm,
idols.
mhm,
And our kids went there up to age 13. And then he moved to New York. So, and we saw another vacuum. In 1977, we joined a team to build a Hindu temple, and which is now Livermore Temple
Today.
today.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that is
And
absolutely amazing.
I still volunteer there.
Uh-huh.
and a very active volunteer.
Mhm.
And then also built a temple in Fremont, which is called Fremont Hindu Temple.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we were the one of the founding members of that too.
Mhm.
And then later on, my friend says, hey, we got all this, but where is the Gurdwara? So we
Mhm.
initiated Fremont, what is called Fremont Gurdwara.
Yeah.
This is where the Seva Bhav came.
Mhm.
So serving community, whatever they need. And then nothing happens unless your own spouse
Yeah.
gives you encouragement. And that's what happened with my wife, Rani. And because of that, her brother was diagnosed in 2007 with a cancer, liver
Mhm.
cancer.
Mhm.
And then in 2009, when he was given only 4 months, he took us to Chapel of Chime to make his last arrangements. He
Mhm.
chose everything, and I saw how difficult it was for the grieving, the person who first thing is he's dying, and he's choosing his own coffin and his own how he wants to be buried
Mhm. Mhm.
or have his cremation.
Yeah.
So that my wife initiated this thing, and she says, if you want to do something,
Mhm.
there are enough temples now in Bay Area, enough things in the Bay Area. Let's initiate this.
Hmm.
And we started this and finally
Last right service. Yeah.
last rite services.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
glad.
yeah. Well, we are glad. You are one of the pioneers, that started such a critical service that the Bay Area Hindu community needs. I'm actually, in awe of, how your childhood experiences have turned you into the Seva Manobhava, and you have, kept on building onto that. Because a lot of times when people go through trauma, it can affect their lives in many different ways. Some people can become extremely selfish, trying to hold on to things, and not necessarily be willing to share, because that is the effect of trauma that they have. But looking at you, I feel like your foundation was extremely valuable, from your parents and your grandmother, and use that for the good of the community, and you've been continuing to do that, and really have to admire that. Talking about that, it is one thing that you have done over years. You have started a lot of temples. You have been giving guidance on not only the samskaras that are celebratory in nature, but recently, like you said, after some of your personal experiences with your brother-in-law, you started this funeral service, and you have worked with many funeral homes. You have guided us at the HCI to, offer that as one of the services through our volunteers. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that people always wonder about. When you become an expert in something, especially at a time like, a death in the family, families are in a lot of grief, and they're unable to handle tasks. So, which means they will call you at all hours of the day. It can be day, night, weekend, weekday, or whatever. So tell us how you deal with it, and how does your family deal with it? Because sometimes you yourself may be having a celebratory occasion in the family, or some other occasion where you are needed very badly. So how do you handle that?
Well, as I said, the the task become very easy when your spouse is with you.
Yes.
And I would again say that it was Rani, my wife, and who supported this cause. And she knew that this is very important because we saw uh, with uh, with her brother's death That's where I started learning what really grieving is. Grieving is not that you go, if somebody pass away and you call them, you send them condolences, and you're done. That your duty is done. But that's not what that grieving family needs. What grieving family needs somebody to hold their hand and tell them that this is a law of nature. If we are born, according to our Sanatana Dharma, if we are born, we have to leave this earth for somebody else to come on. And the way I explain to them is the world is a merry-go-round. One gets on it, the other one gets off. So this is how it works. And then I think slowly and slowly when people, see, I went from temple to temple, gurdwaras to gurdwaras, put all my efforts which I were done into their websites. But shamelessly to say, everybody removed it after I left there. Because they all want the money while you are living your money as donations, but they don't want to talk about death. Even though, and this is a fact, nobody wants to talk about that.
Right. It is unfortunate, it happens sometimes, and all we can do is do our duty and move on. Karmanyavadhikaraste, as the Bhagavad Gita says, and as Krishna says. So that brings up an interesting point. You have lived in the Bay Area. You've lived in America for a long time, and know a lot of people. Many that you probably have gotten along with greatly, and many that you probably have some personal opinion about. But funeral service to me is, it is when that person is dead, you just have to let go of everything. So if somebody from a person's family requests you, or that person comes and requests you for a funeral service, would you be able to put aside your personal feelings and still help them?
Yes. Yes, always. Always.
That is, that is something that is very hard to do, because as humans, no matter how hard we try, we have biases. So something that we would like to, cultivate for ourselves and practice is, not have those types of biases, especially when this person is dead or dying or something like that. Like, what is the point in carrying on animosity? So especially when somebody is lying there helpless, they are very vulnerable. So when you look at that person, what comes to your mind? How do you just get over that feeling? What kind of a thing do you say to yourself?
Well, I feel fortunate that I may be one of the last person who is going to give him some comfort. I have talked to a lot of people who have been told that they have few days to live. And then it comes to me that maybe it's a God-given opportunity to me to be with this person for a few days. So I will call him on the phone, I'll talk to him, I'll comfort him, and I'll tell him the fact of life. Hey, listen, don't worry about it. Now you're leaving because you were here. All of us are here only for a certain given time, and now our time is over. So one thing I advise them is, don't think about your wealth, your house, just think about your family.
So I think it's really great you are there for the person who feels that he or she doesn't have anybody. And I think that is an excellent way of serving another human being, especially when they feel that, they have very little time to live. Continue. You were about to say something else.
No, I was saying that even if that person is living and not dying, if you can hold somebody's hand in your hand and say, I love you, and you can count on me for any occasions, right? Give me a call or give my wife a call, and then we'll get back to you. And I don't have any counts how many times it has happened. But then one day I was discovered by Kailash Joshiji, and I'm glad they did, because I was one person, and now I have the institute who's behind it. And then they have put me digitally on HCI website, which is the young generation wants, because they want to Google everything.
Yes.
But and this generation, which is electronic type of generation, are lacking one thing. They want to see only the headings, and they don't want to read. They know everything. And now I was telling that Joshiji, Kailash Joshiji, that what we need to do is now we have to go by what they like, and that is question and answers. Frequently asked question and answers, so that they can see which question they have in their mind. And
yes.
And that's the next thing we are going to work on.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea, because, in all honesty, we all live in a world of instant gratification. I want to pick up my phone. I want to, punch in something, and I want everything to be available at my fingertips. So I agree with you. We need to cultivate that habit of methodically looking for things, and, and of course, your help to HCI is extremely valuable, because somebody like me, for example, know very little about last rites, and have not gone through any kind of experience like that in the United States. In India, we take a lot of things for granted because it just happens routinely, right? There's a network of people to help you, but in America, the service you're providing is extremely valuable, and we thank you for that. So the least we can do is put your photo up on the website, and give credit where it belongs. Really, we really are not doing anything out of our way. So it also brings another question to me. Death, dealing with death can do a lot of things to families. Sometimes it brings the family members close together. Brother and sister, they may not have talked to each other, but suddenly, something traumatic happens, and they, find each other. But that can also split families apart, especially when it comes to, division of property and whatever else, goes on in that family. So I'm pretty sure you would have seen some of that goodness and some of that ugliness, all, in all the years that you have, seen people and families going through this thing. So what surprises you, what angers you, and what disgusts you when you see situations like that?
Well, first thing is, it doesn't anger me. I do get surprised. But then again, I have seen enough of that in my own family, as well as my friends, who have, a lot of them have passed away because of age. And many years ago, I would say about 7, 8 years ago, there was a question came up from the seniors in Livermore Temple on this issue.
Mhm.
And then they were, because they were brought into America by their children's,
Mhm.
because they both were working and they wanted their family, especially mothers, to come and
Mhm.
raise their kids.
Mhm.
And there were lots of them, and there are lots of them even now.
Yes,
And
that's
they
true.
were questioning us because they
Mhm.
have come here and they see, and some of them told me that what they don't like about where the situation they are in. And
Mm.
those questions came over and over. And then at that time, I said, okay, we'll have a session
Mhm.
on this. What chapter of Bhagavad Gita
Mhm.
is important, and then what else is important other than just knowing Bhagavad Gita's chapter.
Mhm.
So at that time, we two of us got together, and both, I'm glad we both are part of the HCI.
Mhm.
Mr. Kapoor,
Mhm.
he talked about the Bhagavad Gita, and
Mhm.
I talked about what families who have come here and they are
Mhm.
aged,
Mhm.
and because of the way our Indian community is,
Mhm.
parents in India doesn't tell their children what they have, what they own, what happens, and suddenly they go away.
Mhm.
And one of them dies, and then the mother or father, whoever survives, they don't know what to do with it. That's when I
Mhm.
came up with slideshow, which
Mhm.
I sent you the other day,
Mhm.
and all the things parents who come here, what they should write down. What are the things they should write down on a piece of paper? Don't tell their family, but make sure it's available.
Mhm.
Take, otherwise the kids will say, "Well, my father never told me that they have this and that," and this, and the fight starts within the family members.
Yes.
So they all
Mhm.
want piece of that money or
Mhm.
property or whatever,
Mhm.
and that's where this all these problems are coming up.
Yeah, I think that's valuable advice because we all know when people have a situation on their hands and they're not prepared, they feel they have to somehow resolve that issue and they're not able to, and it comes out in different ways, unfortunately. So again, I think your reference to Bhagavad Gita and what is important in life and what is important family, I think that is extremely important. uh, all we have to do is sometimes look for answers, and it is right there. But coming from someone like you, I'm sure it hits the point home more than us trying to read the Gita and trying to make sense out of that. So that's very good about how you deal with families, and to try to turn the negative situations into positive situations, both for the parents and the children who are living with them. I think that's very, very good. So one last question I would like to ask you is, a lot of us believe in samskaras because it makes sense. Every stage in life, right from pre-birth to birth to marriage to everything we go through in life is an occasion to be thankful, is an occasion to celebrate. But then a lot of people just don't believe in that, but they try to do it because that is what the society expects of them, or that is what they want to portray to the community or the people around them as oh, I did this type of thing. So uh, when they do that, does it bother you that they are wasting your time or
Mm.
taking your service for granted?
Uh, Simple answer. It's a very complex question, but the simple answer is no, it doesn't.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because what happens is I I have spent a lot of time with hospice nurses
Mhm,
myself, and because hospice nurses were taking care of my brother-in-law.
mhm.
At that time, I learned how they cope because they see this day and night. One
Yes.
person who's online deathbed, and they have to do everything because the family members think, oh, here is a nurse. I don't have to worry about it. They
Mhm,
leave everything on them, right?
mhm.
As a human nature. You know,
Yes. Mm,
if you hire somebody to clean your house, you think, hey, I don't have to clean anymore.
yeah.
They'll do everything. And then after that, they say, oh, this corner is not clean. And they will shout
Yes.
on
Mhm.
the cleaning lady next time when she comes in, hey, how come you didn't do this? And it takes only a second to take a napkin and just clean that corner and you're done, right?
Mhm,
But blaming is human nature.
mhm,
My A lot of time frustration comes, especially in the beginning, first 5, 6 years when I was
mhm.
doing. People thought they would tell my wife how much commission he gets from these funeral homes, not thinking that I'm doing a seva,
Yeah.
but their thing was there must be something.
In
If
it
he
for.
still
Mhm.
continue doing it, is
Yeah.
something coming
Yeah.
for him.
Mhm,
And that was for a while. It was a frustration, but then I was over it very fast.
mhm,
I said I don't have to explain to anybody.
mhm,
Right? I'm doing seva, and seva is nishkarm seva,
mhm,
and that's it. And we both were over it very quickly within days,
mhm.
and no frustrations.
Yeah.
I'll still keep doing it.
Uh-huh. I think that's a very good point you're making. So, when I look at you and when I look at the type of work that you've been doing for so many decades, uh, I I think it is, definitely a lesson that we can all learn from. Uh, Take the negatives in life, turn it into something positive, be of service to someone, and then put aside all the bias, whether you like that person or not, just do it
Right.
because that person needs help, especially when they are vulnerable. You don't want to sit in a, judging seat and then uh, bring all your personal feelings into it.
Right.
And I like the fact that you are saying, nothing makes you angry.
Now, there are stages in life when you get angry, but
Mhm,
what I have seen as a child leaving Pakistan and coming into India
mhm,
as a refugee,
mhm.
innocent people being butchered for no
Yes,
reason,
yes.
and myself was hit by a bullet,
Mhm.
I would have been dead at that time,
Wow.
but lived because there was some purpose
Mhm,
was set by God for
mhm,
my life,
mhm,
and I think there were a lot of things which happened since
mhm,
then.
mhm,
I've been very lucky that I was given this sanskaras by my parents
mhm,
and my in-laws
mhm,
because my father-in-law was my doctor when I was a child.
mhm.
So I married their daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
We're married now 54 years.
Very nice.
Approaching
Congratulations.
55, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And she has same seva bhav in herself too.
Yeah, that is, that's wonderful to know. Obviously, you are a very valuable resource to the community, and we are extremely proud of you, Madanji, because you have continued to be there for us and shine the light on a lot of areas that, where we needed some expertise and guidance. So we thank you for that. And today, I'd like to also thank you for taking time off of your very busy schedule.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
allowing us to spend a few minutes with you. So thank you so much. If you have any last words, any final advice to the people who want to become karma yogis and follow in your steps, please go ahead.
Well, I can only suggest one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Leave your personal ego behind.
Mm-hmm.
What you are doing for others is pays off in some other ways to you.
Mm-hmm.
It comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it doesn't matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Love first your family,
Mm-hmm.
and then love the society, your friends you go with. Don't fight with them. Never.
Yeah.
Just don't fight for little things, because those little things doesn't bother as you grow up, because they won't bother you anymore, because you'll still repenting. Why did I leave him behind?
Mm-hmm.
He was a good source for
Yeah.
my happiness.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that keep your friends forever. Once you become a friend, they are your family, and you never leave the family for any reason. Stay with them.
Yeah.
Stay happy and keep them happy. And they will be with you when you really need you. They are the one
Yeah.
who will, they'll
Yeah.
give you a helping hand.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much once again,
So,
Madanji.
thank you again.
It
Thanks
was a
for
pleasure having you, and we will
appreciate it.
continue to seek your guidance as we move forward with the HCI services.
Yeah, I'm so glad HCI is doing what they are doing, because there was nothing like this anywhere.
Yeah, it's been a dream of Kailashji and many people like him, and the beauty of that is whatever we are building today is going to serve the diaspora, the generation 2 and the generation 3, and hopefully will be there for future generations to come, because it is important to preserve our tradition and heritage and all that.
So I remember first graduation of HCI when you got that certificate.
Yeah. I'm so proud of that. It's one of the proudest moments of my life. It is again, I'm just beginning, like step number 1 of
no, everybody see, I still feel I'm on step number 1, because I haven't explored all the things I could have done. There's so much to do, so much to do for society.
Yeah, that is very humbling to hear that from you. So thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaste.